It's another edition of PENSDOWN. Here we sit with journalists and get to understand what they go through in their line of duty. We talk about their journalism journeys. Whenever they bring you their stories, you never get to hear what they went through before their story got to you. This platform is dedicated to all the behind-the-scenes issues that journalists grapple with in their line of duty. Today, I've been joined by a colleague. He is assistant editor for GBC Ghana Online, the news portal of Ghana State Broadcaster. Before taking up that role, he was online editor for todaygh.com, serving as parliamentary correspondent for the print platform Today newspaper as well. Between 2014 and 2016, he rose from editor to managing editor for iGhana.com, an online news portal. He has in the past worked with Atlantis Radio, the National Trust newspaper, Information Services Department, and the Daily Graphic in various capacities. He is a member of the Ghana Journalists Association, Judicial Press Corps, Parliamentary Press Corps, and the Africa Media and Malaria Research Network, among others. During the almost 2 decades of his journalism practice, he has participated in and attended several professional development and capacity building programs to enhance his functionality. He is a product of Ghana Institute of Journalism, where he studied for his diploma and degrees in communication studies. Joining me today is my colleague, Franklin Asare-Donkoh. You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for such a wonderful attributes.
Oh, wow. It's good to have you here, and we are excited you've been able to join us.
Yeah, it's good to be on your show too. Because, from what I've been monitored, it's good that at least when it comes to issue of journalists themselves are not interested in. But if it has been any other profession, we rush for a microphone and recorders and cameras to go and write about it. So it's always good that at least there's someone who is also taking care of the journalists who bring out the issues to the public domain.
But how did you discover that journalism is what you wanted to do while growing up?
You see, Sata, I say it's a mystery because growing up, my father, now Dr. Asare-Donkoh, who worked at Graphic for so many years, with a popular column, Franklin Speaking. He has been in the profession for a while. Okay. So from SS level, even from JSS, we used to, when I vacate a come to Accra and join him, we used to go on assignment. But I never phantom journalism, to be sincere with you. So when I completed JHS, the junior high school, then it was junior secondary school then.
Yes, that's right.
Going to SS, I wanted to do business.
Oh.
So I went to what we call pre-SS classes.
That's right.
At the Sibusco City Business and Secretarial College around Caprice.
Yeah.
For a whole year to study business administration, economic, secretarialship, and all some.
Yeah.
So when the results came, he said, no, I should go and do general acts. Because that traced to the journalism part. And you know how our system is.
That's right.
Fathers, mothers, uncles, grandfathers, grandmothers want to do a certain line. Really right. How you do things. So I was chosen to do general arts. In fact, when I got to Accra, I was to do geography, art, maths, government. No, government was not government. Geography, art, maths, and physics, and economics.
Okay.
So when we got there, my English was better than my marks then.
Okay.
So our former assistant headmaster, Mr. Donkoh, what was your grade in maths? In the general art, we have Arts 1 and Arts 2.
That's right.
Arts 1, that's geography, art, maths, physics, economics. Then Arts 2, there's in English language, elective
literature
English, literature in English, French. And I think there was another course. So when I say maths, I say I think it was C, English B. Then you say I should go here. So I went to the other side, and I done a day. They pushed me for Art 2, where I didn't want to go because I didn't study French. During our JHS time, they say French, so I didn't study French. So they pushed, and the rest they say is history. Even after completing SS, you see, because my interest was not where I was, I have to go and write French. I think literature and English.
I mean, you did some remedials.
Yeah, for another paper. And I said no. You can from the other research I did. You can't stay in where you don't speak the language and become fluent in speaking and writing.
Yeah.
So you need to be where the language is spoken among the people, then you can pick it.
That's right.
So after that, they said I should go and do remedials. I should go and rewrite the papers. I didn't mind anybody. I just decided not to do anything. So I went into 96, but then there was emergence of this computer science stuff, hardware, software. So I started to go and do computer science. There was one engineer at Ghana Atomic Energy. So he took me through the hardware and the software. So for a year. After the year, I got a job at Shell Ghana. I was to be at the head office with their IT department.
Yeah.
No, but then this calibrated machines has come in, so they need the IT people to. And I got there, they say the place is full, so I can't get a chance there. Already employed you. Wow. So they sent me to Medina, that's the Hollywood Shell. And I got there, the manager said, no, we don't have a place for you, so the only place for you is the forecourt. It is to be a full attendant. I said, no problem. So far as I'm going to gain an experience and all those things. Actually, a young guy who has completed school around 17, 18.
Yeah.
You need something to put on your pocket because there are kids behind you. There's no way the family is going to spend so much on you
while others have not been attended.
You, others are now coming. So I began doing all sorts of menial jobs. So from Shell, then after 2 years, I said, no, I have to go back and do my papers, sit and go to university because the one immediately after me is going to complete school. After he completing school, he go to university, then I will be sitting down there. What will I be doing? So I decided to enroll at a preset pay setters. So there I went to read business. I registered in June. Even though I've done business course for, I say 8 months, comprehensive. So when I was going to do the business, they said, no, you should go and do your own course and rewrite. I said, no, I'm going to do it because I don't want that area in which I was to be pushed. So I spoke to one of our pastors. We sat down and said, no, instead of going to do all the 6, because I decided to do economics, business management, accounting, economics, business management, accounting. I think there was another course, making 4.
Is it costing?
Then costing. So I did economics, business management, accounting. Then I wrote English, maths, science and social studies.
Okay.
Just to get, because as for English and maths, English and social studies, I had it already. But I didn't want to go anywhere with 2 sets of certificate or results. So I decided to go straight. So instead of using maybe 3 years to do the business course, I used just 6 months. From June to November. It's not even 6 months. Then because the exams were somewhere early December, first week in December of deck. So I went. Everybody to why how can you do? I say, hey, me, I know what I'm about. Because there were people behind me. So there was no way my classes fee, which by then it was 70 cedis. Today, like it be 700 or 7 cedis.
Yeah.
Not down the zeros per subject times 7 before the classes. So I have to go into extra classes, do general science, maths, accounting, so that I'll be sure I'm on the safer side. So I did all this thing. I have to wake up at dawn, go to Legon to go and have my core science and add mathematics part-time before coming back to preset, which is at Zongo Junction, around Zongo Junction, Firestone. So I did this thing for almost 5 months. Intensive learning, because if you know where you are going, at least you work towards it. So I went through all this, the 5 months intensive classes, because the little savings I did is what I pushed into that course. And if I'm not able to make it, I don't think I will even say it will take maybe a year or so before I can get another savings to go. So I went and I done the day, 6 months. I wrote the paper. I got grade 12. I got grade 12. So after the examination, I got myself into a sales and marketing job at one of the breweries, the brewing companies, Rush Farms and Rush Farms. Then I became the sales and marketing guy. So I went through. So somewhere 202. Then I had a call that, why are you still here? There are a lot of people, because I was moving around, seeing how development is not getting to people who are supposed to have it. There are a lot of people who are not getting people to speak on their behalf. I said, why are things like this? So whatever it is, I'll go back to school. So 2003, I decided to go back to school. I bought funds from University of Ghana, KNUST, UPSA, then GIG.
Well, that means you spent a lot on 4 universities.
Yeah, because that's when they don't know who will call you and what.
Yeah.
Fortunately for me, I had call from KNUST, I have call from UG, then GIG. But then I have one child who was going for 4 years and going here for 2 years, which is a professional course. After 2 years, you can get something to do. I discussed with few people. I said, let me go and see for it. The next day, I don't know what happened. I went to GIG, went and paid my fees and everything there. The rest they say is history.
So journalism came to you because you have a family history of journalism. And it was much against your desire.
It was much against my desire, but no, you see, sometimes your calling or what God wants you to do will differ from what you think you need to do. Because when I was doing sales and marketing, I was better off. I was far, far better off. Because you go for goods, you sell, you get your commission, you get whatever it is. A young guy, we're having a vehicle to yourself, product, and all those things. So in fact, I was okay. But like I said, nobody knows. I have to push myself into that job people describe poverty stricken job. So I went. My first year, we went through. Then at the end of our first year, we have to go and do what we call internship.
Yeah.
So first, I went to GBC. that's where I caught my biblical code as a professional journalist.
Oh, okay.
I went to BBC for 2 months. Looking at the way things are, I said, no, I'm not somebody who like to be sitting down at one place. And TV, those days, there were only 3 cameras in the newsroom. One will be stationed at Castle, others will go to either of any important, then the other one will be roaming. So when there are assignments, you can't even go. There's no camera to go.
Yeah.
So after the 2 months, we were doing 2 months, then we rotate. After 2 months, I went to graphic. I went to graphic corporation to go and continue to do another 2 months.
Yeah.
And when we went, we were 7. I don't know the first 2 weeks, we were only 2 who were assigned to go to cover programs on our own. It's then I realized that no, this is where the path is. So instead of spending 2 months there, I spent 2 months. I went back to school. Then the editors there, the late drawing do Bamfo Yuna, Boniface Waka. There was other Mr. Kofi Akuno. There was other guys around. They said no. After school, come ask some of the guys because they saw something good in me. So after school, come and learn on the job. So I spent almost a year and a half at graphic.
Wow.
Then I completed school. I said no. Let me go and have, because by then communication is PR, marketing, advertisement, and journalism. So I have a bit of journalism. Let me see the PR aspect. So I went to join ISD, that's the Information Services Department. A journalist at the unit for the whole of my national service. And when the national service came, I got other offers. I said, no. Where I got in Ashanti region, let me go. So I was with the ISD in Ashanti region. I roam through some of the districts. By then I have an north, I have an south, Atmawa Beja, and all those places. So I was just moving around. After my service, I came back and decided to join National Trust. But then there was this gentleman, the regional news editor, Mr. Kwame Penny, Dr. Then there was this publicist from Nigeria. He's a Ghanaian, but he stayed in Nigeria for a long time. He worked with Gute Institute. So when they put something together, they met and somebody recommended me to them, and we move on. But you know how the private sector works here.
Yeah.
They were coming.
Yeah.
And it get published. And the issues are addressed. That is my joy. So
but let me find out from you. Let me find out from you. Against your will, you landed in journalism. Now you've done almost 20 years. What has kept you in this craft all these years?
Like I said, my joy, or what has kept me, is that at least you speak for the vulnerable. You raise issues, and it either get addressed or is heard of. If it didn't get solved, it's getting heard of. You give people the voice that hitherto will not be heard of.
Yeah.
So that has been my joy, and I've never regretted coming into this profession. Even though when you look at in terms of monetary terms and all those things. But there's something I said to myself. If it's because of money, I can also do other things that people are doing, and today they are board chairperson, they are political appointees. Speak to facts, speak to issues, and let the rest go. So when NDC was there and things were not going right, I spoke against it. When MPP came, I spoke against it. You go to NDC, they say MPP. You come to MPP, they say NDC. I said, so
you are safe.
So be it, because I've worked with politicians. I've been publicist for politicians, MPs, different MPs, and I know what they say about journalists. So with all this experience, I don't think I will do anything that will tarnish my name. Then two, the shoe I'm fitting in, which is bigger than my foot, is there. There's a family history. There's a name to protect. So there are certain things, if you are conscious of yourself and where you are coming from, you won't do. So for these 20 years, I've never had any court case. I've never had any suit of defamation. I've never been accused of taking money from anybody to do something. I'll do what is right and what is needful.
Let me find out from you.
Kept me in this job.
Does journalism pay?
It depends on the size you look at. Some have enough satisfaction, like me.
Okay.
When I do a story and it gets published, I become happy. Right? Others will go for the monetary terms. But those doing the real journalism are not getting enough pay for. Unlike other jurisdictions where journalists are paid well to ensure that at least there are certain temptations you won't fall in.
Yeah.
Understand?
Yeah.
In our part of the world, I always tell people, hungry can lead you to do a whole lot of things that you never think of doing it. You finish doing what you are doing before you think, so I did this, or why did I do this? Understand? But like I said, if you are conscious of yourself, if you know where you are coming from, if you know the house you are coming from, if you know where you want to be in the next 5 or 10 years, there are certain things you won't do. Hungry will not kill you. Understand?
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who become prepared. Today, when you find them, you won't get them. Yes.
Talking about that, let me find this out from you. Journalism, a lot of trained, qualified journalists are abandoning the profession. Some are going into PR. Others are doing entirely different things unconnected to communications at all. What exactly is happening to the profession? Why are people living in such numbers?
Well, what I can say to that is that journalism, like teaching, nursing, or the Christendom, or what we call religion, ministerial religion, pastors are by calling.
Okay.
Some people are using the journalism platform, especially the print, especially the radio and television, the electronic, as a launching pad to get into something. So you see them. A lot of people are leaving, but there are a lot of good ones too who are remain. Because when you come to a place like GBC, Graphic, Time, GNA, people have worked for 25 years, 30 years, and still counting. Understand? Some of them who you see them going, and if you do a little of research, you could see that all the trained journalists, the film may always end up in the PR department. Check the female. They always end up in the PR department. Only few remain in the profession, and even those who remain are either presenters or newscasters.
Yeah.
The core people doing journalism are the guys. Those who have the interest, those who have the core and the passion to do. So it all boils down to your passion and your interest.
Let me find this out from you. There's a running debate on this platform, PENSDOWN. The question is, should journalists be licensed?
You see, it's yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, because journalism is a profession.
Okay.
And every profession that I know of, talk of the banking sector, you talk of ACC, you talk of Institute of Engineers, You talk of Institute of Architecture, you talk of Institute of this,
law, medicine, and those
all
things.
of them are licenses to operate. Why do you leave journalism open to all sorts of people to bunch in? Why? At least there should be some form of registration and recognition. They know that this one is practicing this, so that we can trace you. When you go wrong, you know this person has gone wrong. Like the law people are doing, like the Institute of Accountants is doing, like Institute of Internal Auditors are doing, like Institute of Bankers are doing. Why do you leave journalism open for any kind of person to bop in? And this thing have gone on, and today a lot of people don't even know the difference between a journalist, a driver from a media house, a photographer, and a presenter. Yes, there are presenters who are trained journalists, but most of the crop of presenters we have in this country are not trained journalists. Less than 10%. Less than 10% are trained journalists who, when they are presenting or when they are doing hosting, you can see the journalism traits in their line of questioning and their line of argument. The rest, what do you see? What do you see? So there should be a form of licensing, professional licensing. GJA is there. What is GJA doing? Even sometimes, do you belong to GJA? If you do you have ID card? What does your ID card say? Today, event organizers are complaining all over because people come in and claim to be journalists. And sometimes when they speak, you wonder whether they've been to class 1 before or not. Yes, you don't need to sit in journalism class to learn. People learn on the job.
Yeah.
Me, I am a trained journalist from Ghana Institute of Journalism, but what I learned in school was different from what pertains on the job. So I have what you need to do to go along with the realities.
Talking about event organizers, Sole is one thing that in journalism, for some people, it is survival. For others, they have their own opinions. What is your honest take on Sole?
You see, like I said from the beginning, I had the opportunity to go along with my dad to programs.
Okay.
In the 90s and the early 2000s, when programs are being organized, event organizers will come and pick you. There's something we call pick and drop.
Okay.
You go to your office, a car will come from the event organizer or whatever it is, pick you to the program and bring you back. So there was nothing like Solly. These days, you bring invitation, come and cover my assignment for me. How does the person get there? It's only few media houses that will bring journalists to program and they ask them to come back. When they come for their money. So if the person don't have money to come back to the office, what does the person do? What does the person do?
Interesting.
So we need to reorganize ourselves. And trust me, the so-called noise about Solly is that most of these PR guys are making millions on the brand side of journalists.
How?
I had many encounters where they will go for sometimes 100 cedis for you and they will come and give you 50 cedis.
Oh, I see.
So they will do their budget. But when someone comes to your program and you aid the person to go back to the office and they have online touch and all those, and we know the cost of living, to get to the office as quickly as possible, to do your stories for you, and you give something the TNT. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And whoever is finding fault with that should ensure that journalists are picked from their various offices or point of collections, send them to their event venue, and then bring them back. And this issue of Solly will end.
Right. You've done almost 20 years. If we should go back into time, 25 years, will you still come into journalism? Will journalism be on the table for consideration as a profession?
I think if they even put law, journalism, and medicine, I will still go for journalism first. Yes. I will still go for journalism first because the lawyers need the journalists to speak on their behalf. Judges need journalists to speak on their behalf.
Yeah.
Even the presidents need journalism to speak on their behalf. And journalism is rewarding, not in terms of money,
okay,
but in terms of taking you to places. Today, you can call any minister and ask him any question you want. How many people can do that? You can branch into any office and say, I need A, B, C, D. If you're not even given on that same spot, within a day or two, they will call you or someone will come to explain things to you. Understand?
Yeah.
It takes you to places. It depends on who is watching or who is quantifying the reward that journalism brings.
Apart from Atlantis Radio, your professional life has been dominated by print and online journalism.
Yeah.
Were these deliberate? Did you decide to opt for them, or those were just the options that were available at the time? That is why you settled for that.
Well, you see, after my experience with my short thing with Atlantis, I decided not to do radio or TV again. Okay. Because I came from TV, went to print, went a bit with the PI, then came back to radio.
Okay.
Radio and TV is time consuming. Time consuming. And if you are somebody who want to explain things in details,
yeah,
radio and TV is not your fault. Radio and TV is not fair. But aside that, you'll be there and someone will approach you, Charlie, I'm doing this. Can you help me? And they know I've been with the newspaper industry for a while. So when they are coming up, those who know you come to you that, oh, bro, we are doing ABCD. Can you help us to do it? Then you say, okay, I can help you. Then you go. But you know, some of these people who set up the newspapers things that the media industry is like buying tomatoes and selling. You buy tomatoes, you go to market, you sell, then you get your money. So they come first month, second month, at least 6 months they are off the scene. So, but with the online, I saw that when the person set up, at least 5 years. Those who are serious by 5 years, you know, you have a place to work for 5 years. After 5 years, then you think of where you are going. So that has been the case.
Let me pull the brakes here. It's been exciting talking to you. Amazing perspectives. I think sometimes until you speak to the person, you can never tell what he also has under his sleeves. Thank you very much for your time and for making time to be with me on PENSDOWN. I have had the opportunity and the privilege of speaking with my colleague, Franklin Asare-Donkoh. He's had almost 2 decades and he's still waxing strong. Before you go, finally, let me find out from you. When do you intend to retire from journalism?
As one of my friends say, you make me laugh in capital letters. I think as far as my strength can take me, and from where I am now, I'm training other people. You see, when you are doing something and you don't train people to take over from you, then you've done nothing. At least there have been a couple of young guys who have passed through my hands. Some are doing well, some are falling off. But at least if one person is on today, I'm happy for that. So very soon, as far as my strength can take me, you will get the backstage for others to also come on board.
Wonderful. So, this has been Pens Down. We'll be back next time with another colleague. We talk journalism journeys here. Thank you, sir, for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Right. That'll be all for now. Goodbye.